Okay, good morning everyone. In the previous session, we are discussing the conditional statements of the if statements, nested if statement, switch case, and for loop, right? We are entering into the looping statements. Today we are going with the while loop and also do while loop and nested loops and some programs on the all. Okay. First, by the for loop you can understand the purpose of looping statements and how it will helps to you in a programming, right? Normally the looping statements are helps to you to achieve the task. That means one task you have to repeatedly done multiple times, then looping is the concept. It will helps to you, like the way the for loop can be executed based on a iteration counts and a condition, right? Now today we are going to discuss on the while loop. The while loop is executing multiple times like the for loop, but the difference between the for loop and the while loop is while loop execute based on a condition. Based on a condition till to the condition will be failed, it will be execute. Normally when you are dealing with the real world scenarios, you have to be analyze which loop is perfect for this. Some scenarios two loops will be perfectly, but in some scenarios particular loop will be the key. Suppose when you are go for the advanced data structures of the trees and the graphs, for traversal of the trees and the graphs, while loop is the key to traversal. That means it will depends on the scenario. The while loop traverse or the loop iterates based on the condition. First we will see the syntax. You can understand when we are dealing with the program, so you can understand, you can get the some idea when we have to use the while loop, when we have to use the for loop. Okay, syntax is nothing but simply while is the keyword you have to use, and condition one thing you have to be right, and some block of statements, number of statements you can write within this block. N number of statements you can write within this block. Like the way you have to be perform while loop. That means suppose you have to be perform a 3 steps, you can write under this block. Like the way you have to be mention one condition for the loop where it has to be terminate. This condition is nothing but suppose if you are treat with one condition, if the condition true, the loop will execute. If the condition is false, then loop not execute. Till to the condition will be failed, the while loop will be execute repeatedly. Simply we will take an example of I can create a package com dot day 6 or day 7, day 6, right? In this I can create a one package or one class. My class is a while loop. Okay, it is a while loop. In this, suppose I have to print 1 to 10 numbers like a for loop we can do for the while loop. In the for loop we'll see how to print the 1 to 10 natural numbers or 1 to 100 natural numbers. Like the way here we have to check how to print 1 to n natural numbers. Okay, 1 to n natural numbers. For that what I have to do, first I have to read the n value dynamically. For that I have to create one scanner object. This is the way you can create the scanner objects, and you have to import that scanner class. Import from java.util.star or the scanner. If you mention the star, then it will import all the packages. In that the scanner class will be exit. That's the way. I can declare one variable int n. Why? Because I have to read from 1 to n natural numbers. N is the dynamic value. It will be repeatedly changes, right? Like the way int n, n equals to sc dot next int. Okay, normally if you do like this, it will gives one terminal to enter a value, but you are not identified. Okay, I'll show to you. I already tell to you at the time of the dynamic reading of the inputs. Okay, while loop, right? My aim is to print 1 to n numbers, right? That means my loop will be start from 1. First, when you are writing with the while, the main thing is you have to find the condition to stop the while loop. That is the major thing. In any looping statements, you have to be find the where loop to be end. If you are not find it, then it has to be enter into a infinite loop. So end condition of a loop is the main. So here my aim is to print 1 to n natural numbers. That means where I have to stop when I print the nth number, then I have to stop, right? When I have to print the nth number, then I have to stop. For that, what I have to do, int, I'll take one dummy variable I equals to 1, I equals to 1 till I less than or equals to n, of I, right? It will print like the same, but if I do like this, it will enter into a infinite loop. Why? Because first we can analyze, right? Then it will be better understood. Okay, I'll take n value as 20, simply n value as 5. Okay, why? Because I have to iterate, right? First I value is 1, right? I less than or equals to 5 or not, right? True. So the while loop will be execute. What it will print? 1, right? Next again, what is the I value? How it will become 2? I am not write any increment statement, right? I value is still 1. I value is still 1. 1 less than or equals to 5. Again it will print 1. It will enter into a infinite loop. I value never changes. That means one step what you have to do? You have to write the increment value. If you are not incrementing the I, then your loop will never stop, right? If you are not incrementing your I value, then I not becomes the 5. I will not becomes the 5 or n. Then how, when it will be stopped the while loop? Termination condition is necessary. Till this condition has to be true, you have to be iterate your loop. Then now suppose okay, now we can enter the I plus plus also. Then first my I value is 1, after that I becomes 2 less than or equals to 5, again I becomes 3 less than or equals to 5, again I becomes 4 less than or equals to 5, again I becomes 5 less than or equals to 5, and again I becomes 6, but 6 less than or equals to 5, it will be false. Though then this while loop never, that means at that moment while loop not executed, stop the execution of the while loop. Same you can compare with the for loop. For loop you can initialize with a I value in a same for int I equals to 1, I less than or equals to n, I plus plus. You can write in a single line of for loop, right? Normally how can you write in a for loop? For of int I equals to 1, I less than or equals to n, I plus plus. Same thing we do. We are first initializing some I value outside of the loop and declaring the condition here. Why? Because while loop only accepts the condition as a parameter. So we are writing one condition I plus plus incrementing in the loop. It will the for loop also doing the same thing, while also doing the same thing. But what is the purpose of the while loop is in some scenarios you can understand. I'll go with some other programs, then you can understand. We can't, some we are not able to achieve by using the for, then while is the better. Okay, here you have to understand the condition what you have to be placed. Okay, same you can compare with the for loop. In the for loop also we are doing the initialization outside the loop, and we are doing the condition, and we are incrementing. It will be depends. Always when you are using the for loop, you have to be declaring the variable, and also you have to be write the condition, and also you have to be use increment or decrement operator. But when comes to the while loop, it will be depends on the scenario. You have to be initialize a value, or else you have to be incrementing a value, or else you have to be, always you have to write a condition. It condition also depends on the scenario, but incrementing and initializing of a value will be depends on it, the scenario. I can explain it. Okay, this is the way. Simply I can run it once. Run the Java. I am not finding anything. Why? Because I try to read the n value, but the cursor is waiting to me, but I am not identifying. Okay, my cursor is waiting to me, but I am not identifying. That is the purpose. You have to be write one print statement above the reading. Why? Because you can understand that you have to be read a value. Okay, suppose if I write this statement, then you can observe the difference between before and now. Then you find a cursor to enter a value. You have a one idea. You have to be enter a value, right? 34. It will print 34. One single statement you have to be used for a multiple times. That is the purpose of your looping statements. Suppose you want to print n to 1. N to 1. Then what the things I have to be changed? Simply I can place it in a single line, then it will be better understand or better visible to me. Fine. Suppose my intent to print n to 1, then what the values I have to change? I is initializing with n, right? This condition has to be n to 1, right? So my I greater than or equals to 1, right? N to 1, 10 to, suppose 10 I can print, 9 I can print, 8 I can print, 7 I can print, 6 I can print, 5 I can print, till my I becomes 1. So I'll write this condition. Suppose in place of that you are simply write I equals to 1, then it will print or it will execute only a single time when I equals to 1. So that's the case. I am placing the I greater than or equals to 1. Okay, and here I has to be decrement, not increment, decrement. Why? Because you are printing from n to 1. Every time the I value has to be decrease. I can read a number from 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 21, right? The same thing. Suppose you want to print the multiples of 30, that you have to print multiples of 3. That means 3, 6, 9, again 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, till to the 30 you have to print. Then what you have to be changed? Suppose multiples of a number I have to be print. Suppose here I can enter a value of 3, then I have to be print 3 multiples. Suppose if I enter a value of 4, then I have to print 4 multiples. If I enter a value of 5, then I have to print 5 multiples. How can I do? That means it always start with a n. That means which multiple I have to be print, and here till I less than or equals to, suppose if I take the n value as 3, then 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30 till to the 30, right? So 30 means 3 into 10, then it has to be become 4, then it to be 9 in n into 10. That means you can applicable for the every number, and your I has to be increment every time. Suppose 3, after 3 what you have to be print? 6, right? 3 plus 3, that means every time you have to be increment by n only the value, right? N is the 3, n is the 4, n is the 5. Every time the difference between the multiples is the n only. Then I can easily find. Suppose I can enter a value of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Right? Suppose you want to print a multiplication table. Already I am giving to you a task in a for loop, right? Suppose I want to print a table of the one number, right? Table of a number. How can I do? Right. I want to print table of the number. Suppose 3 table. Suppose my n value is 3. I have to print the 3 table. 3 into 1, 3 into 2, 3 into 3, 3 into 4, 3 into 5, like to 3 into 10. So I less than or equals to 10. 1 is the 10. That means variable you have to be do. Here you have to be print in the form of I can go with the println. One thing as the value, right? My value is n plus, and here you can take the x plus I plus equals to plus n into I, and I needs to be increment every time by 1. Simply nothing but, suppose I haven't take the value of 4 has to be print first, again x and I value. I first time is 1, 4 into 1 equals to 4 into 1, the value 4, 1, 4 into 1 value. Again I becomes 2, 4, 2, 4 into 2 value 8. Again 4, 3, 4 into 3 value. Again 4, 4 into 4 value. Here multiplication I can do, right? So that's the case. I can save it. If I run this, it will get a number, enter to a number. My number has to be 17. Because 3 table all of you know, right? The programming always has to be solved, which is human cannot understand or cannot do in a efficient way. 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 70. The main thing is when you are doing a programming, you have to first find the logic. Then it will be understandable. Suppose if you are right one logic, it will be, you have to debug what was the issue in the previous logic. Then you can get it. Right? This is the way your while loop can be executed. Right? This can be do using the for loop also, right? But we can go with another thing in the while loops. Here only I can explain the do while loop. Okay. Do while loop is also same like a while loop. The difference between the do while and the while is I can tell to you. First I will tell you the syntax of the do while. Do while syntax. The syntax is first do, write the statements in this block, same what you are doing for the thing and all the thing. Okay, and while condition, while condition. Normally while loop, how it will be executed? First it will check the condition. If the condition true only, then it will execute the statements. But do while, what it do is, first it will execute, after that check the condition. First perform the execution and checks the condition after the execution complete. That is the do while. That means the difference between the while and the do while is, do while at least executes the statements of the block one time, at least. The fail condition also. Suppose tell me one thing. If I take I equals to 1, I less than 1. Suppose I equals to 1, I less than 1. If I write like this condition, how many times my while loop will be run? How many times my while loop will be run? What is the value of I? 1. 1 less than 1. Condition true or false? False. Then while loop will execute. Then while loop is execute or not? No, right? I also not be incremented, or I value also not be changed. So my while loop not executed. My while loop is not executed, right? That means if the condition is not true for the single time, that means my while loop not executed one time also, not executed a single time also. Why? Because the condition, the first condition is also the false, so it will not execute the thing. Suppose I can do by using the do while, same thing. What I am do while of I less than 1. Okay. First it will performs this operation. After that it will checks the condition. Okay. Save the file. I can read any number. It will print first thing after incrementing I values to the 2, but this condition is false. At the first time also the condition is false. At the first time also the condition is false, but it will execute one time. That is the only difference between while and the do while. Do while first perform the execution, after checks the condition, but while loop first checks the condition after execute the thing. Okay. At least your do while loop execute the block of statements single movement. At least in the failed condition also at least one time. Then I am not talking about at most, at least case. At least single time your block of statements will be run in the do while loop. Do while first executes the statement, after checks the condition. But in the while first checks the condition, after executes the statement. This is the do while. Simply this is loop. Yeah, all the things what you can perform with the while loop, you can perform with the do while also. The same what you are performing before, you can perform with the do while also. That is the same thing. Why the purpose of the do while is in some scenarios of the real world, when you are dealing with the real world projects, sometimes you have to be execute the things at least one movement. There might be a chance for that. So do while is the concept. If you observe in the Python, there is a no do while loop. Okay. This is the do while. Simply you have to understand the difference between every looping statement. What is the difference between a for loop and the while loop? For loop based on a iteration count, it will be perform. While loop based on a condition, it will be execute. And do while first executes, after checks the condition. Okay. Right. We'll execute some tasks on the while loop. Why the while loop is special for us? Okay. I can write a main method. Okay. Simply I can take one number, but you have to be read dynamically in before what I said. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 is a number. Suppose I want to count how many digits in this number. Okay, I'll read one number int num. I want to check how many digits in that number. Then tell me, I can do this by using for loop. I can do this by using the for loop. Suppose by using the for loop, you have to initializing the value, and also you have to write a condition, and also you have to be write an incrementing of the thing. Okay, while loop is the case here. Why? Because I'll tell to you in the previous, at the time of the operators concept, I'll tell division operation and the modulus operation, right? Modulus operation, what it will give? Suppose if you perform n modulus num modulus 10, what will be the result? Num modulus 10, 4 is the result. Again num by 10, what is the result? What is the result? 1 2 3, 123 into 10, 1230, 4 is the remainder, right? 4 is the remainder. That means when you are performing division operation for a integer, then it will give the quotient. If you perform modulus operation, it will give the remainder. I hope you all know what is the quotient and what is the remainder, right? Clear? By using these two operations, I can count how many digits in my number. To counting, I can take a variable of int count equals to 0. Okay, why? Because I have to count, right? While of till my n becomes 0, till my n becomes 0, or till n less than or equals to, till n not equals to 0. Okay, it's fine. Num or num equals to num by 10, count plus plus. Okay, here no need of finding the remainder. I'll tell you why. Because suppose first we can analyze it, then it will be better understand to us, right? Fine, Control C. Fine. Suppose I'll take the value of n equals to 2 3 4 5. Okay, fine. In the first iteration, my n value is 2 3 4 5. Okay, 2 3 4 5 not equal to 0. This condition is true, right? Carefully observing the loop, how it will be do. First iteration. Okay, n value is 2 3 4 5. N or num. Okay, n and num are the same. Okay, num is 2 3 4 5. Then first statement, num equals to num by 10. Num value what is 2 3 4 5, right? By 10, what is the result? 2 3 4, right? Then count will be increment. Count equals to 1, right? Why? Because count will be increment to 1. Count already is 0 and I incrementing the count by 1, right? It was the first iteration. Next, second iteration. In the second iteration, what is the num value? 2 3 4, right? Then num equals num becomes, okay, sorry, I can write here 2 3 4 by 10, right? What will be the value? 23. Fine. Count will becomes 2. Why? Because always it will increment by 1. Again, in the third iteration, num equals to, what is the num value we have? 2 3 by 10, then it will becomes 2, right? Count will becomes 3, right? Again in the fourth iteration, num is 2 by 10. What is the 2 by 10 value? How many times 2 will be divisible by 10? 0, right? 0. Quotient is the 0, remainder is the 2, right? If you perform the division operator for that one value, how can you do? Suppose I'll perform for the 10 divisible by 2. Okay, how many times 10 will be divisible in a 0? 0 times it will be the 0, right? And remainder will be the 2. Normally how can you do? You can place one 0 by placing the 0 point and 2 times, so 0.2 you can do normally. But we are not talking about the decimal quotients, we are talking about the integer quotient, so we are only considered with the quotients. Okay, fine. Here the num value becomes num value becomes 0, right? And count becomes 4, right? Then check, num is 0, right? This while loop not executed, the while loop will be terminated, right? The while loop was terminated. Clear? In such scenarios, your while loop will be the best option to you. You don't know the exact iteration count. I don't know about the iteration count. It will be the 4, it will be the 5, it will be the 6, it will be the 7, it will be the anything. But I know the condition where I have to stop the iteration of the loop. Then while loop is the best option to me. Okay? Then while loop is the best option to me to iterate based, depends on a condition, not depends on the iteration count. Okay? Count, and after that what I have to do? I don't have n, right? Num not equals to 0, and I have to print number of digits, plus as a count, right? Count contains the number of digits. Fine. 4 digits. Why? Because I have entered the value of 1 2 3 4. I can change 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. I don't know the count. Ten digits. 4 10 digits. Okay. It is the scenario you can perform with a different while loop condition, and not completed it. Another task now. Okay, that was now what I have to do is I have to sum the every digit in a number. Suppose I have a digit of 1 2 3 4. I want to print 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. Okay, my intent to print 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 value. That means every digit sum, that means a number contains the digit sum. I want to find the digit sum. Okay, right? Same way, in place of count, what I have to do? It is a variable. Now you can use the count anything, it will be the fine. Int sum is a 0. Okay, and how can I find the sum? Simply you can perform first the modulus operation. Why? Because first num modulus 1 2 3 4, what it will give? 4. Again 1 2 3 modulus 10, it will give 3. 12 modulus 10, it will give 2. 12 1 modulus 10, it will give 1. The same condition, same all the thing, but you have to find the remainder, right? Simply int r equals to, or else simply you can do in a other way, sum equals to sum plus what is the every time digit, right? Num modulus 10. In place of count I can print the sum of digits, number of digits and sum of digits. Simply I can change the condition, that's fine. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, 7, 9, 10, right? You can analyze this one, right? Okay, we can analyze it. What will be the difficulty in that? Control C. Right. Suppose I can take the num value as 1, 2, 3, 4, the same. Okay. The first iteration. In the first iteration, what is the num value? Okay, sum. Okay, sum. What will be the sum become? Sum value already is 0, right? Right. Plus num modulus 10. What is the num value we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Modulus 10, right? What will be the result? What is the result of this?
4.
This result is 4. Okay. So 0 plus 4. Then my sum becomes
4.
Sum becomes 4, right? Right. And again num becomes 1, 2, 3, 4 by 10. 1, 2, 3, 4 by 10. That means 1, 2, 3, 4 by 10. It means 1, 2, 3. N becomes 1, 2, 3. Again, in the second iteration, sum equals to, sum value changes to already 4, right? Sum value already changes to 4. 4 plus 1, 2, 3 modulus 10. It will be 3. Then sum becomes 7, right? After that again n becomes, num becomes 1, 2. Same, the loop will be the execute, right? Same particular thing of the statements, you can do it for the multiple times. Clear? Suppose if I give a task like to you, you have to find the product of the digits in a number. Product of the digits in a number. Then what we have to do? In before, I'll do the sum of digits. Suppose I give a task to you like find the product of digits. Then what you have to do? Here I can place like before I perform the sum operation, now I have to perform multiplication operator, right? And the sum value also changes to 1. Why? Because initially my sum value is 0. If you perform with the sum is 0, it will be any difference. But you perform with the product of 0, then it will be always be 0. So you can define with a 1, and it has to be defined with a star. Plus will be with a star. Fine? Fine? This is the way you can do. And any other. Okay, this is the way you can find with the numbers and anything. When you are not aware about the some particular iterations, you are based on the conditions, you have to be do something, then it is the way of option to us. while loop is the way of option to us. So you can just I simply taken with the numbers, you can go with the any other things. Okay, suppose I can give a task like check the number is Armstrong or not. Armstrong or not. Armstrong number is nothing but suppose I can tell one example for the Armstrong. It is like 153. Okay, 153 is the Armstrong number. How can I tell that 153 is the Armstrong number? Is 1 cube plus 5 cube plus 3 cube. Sum will always becomes the exact number. It equals to 153. So it is called as a Armstrong number. It is 3-digit Armstrong number. Okay, 1 cube value 1, 5 cube value 125, 3 cube value 27. 125 and 27 and 27. You can sum it, it will be becomes 153. Okay, Armstrong number is nothing but sum of power of the digits of a number. Here the digit count is 3, right? So you are perform with the cube. Suppose the digit count is 4, you have to perform with the 4. If your digit count is 5, then you have to perform with a 5 and sum. It will be result to the again the same number, then it will be Armstrong, or else it will be the not at all any Armstrong. Okay, and factorial is the number. 145 is the factorial number, strong number I think, strong number, which is nothing but factorial of every digit plus sum. It will becomes the again the number 1 factorial plus 4 factorial plus 5 factorial. Okay, 1 factorial, 4 factorial, 5 factorial. Then it will be the 1, it was the 24, it is the 120. If you sum it, it will be becomes 145. It is strong number. Strong number is factorial of every digit, sum factorial of every digit in a number, sum it, then it will becomes again the same number. We are calling it as a strong number. This is the difference between strong and the Armstrong. Suppose you want to check a number is a strong or the Armstrong, okay, then you have to find the digits, right? You have to first find the digits, and also you know first count of the digit or the count of the number, count of digits in a number, and based on that count you have to perform the power operation, right? And based on that you have to be sum it and you have to be do, right? That means what the stuff I am tell before, it will help to achieve that, right? I'll tell find the count of a number, count of digits of a number, right? And also I'll tell how can you find every digit in a number. Suppose I can tell take like a int r equals to the remainder value. Simply I can perform in other step, sum equals to sum plus r. Both are the same. In before I'll do the same in a single line, but now I can store it in one variable, then I can take it. It was the every time it will be every time digit, right? It will be every time a digit. So this digit you can perform the cube, you can perform the cube, then sum it. Suppose the same thing you can change one line, it will be becomes Armstrong number code. This is the same thing, you can change one number, then you can check it will be a Armstrong or not. Simply suppose 3 digit, I fix for the 3 digit number. I want to check 3 digit number is a Armstrong or not. Then simply I can power with the or else r into r. Okay, simply your qubit, right? Qubit and sum the digits. First your qubit and sum the digits, then it will becomes in the sum you can find the, suppose if I print the sum, I can take the example of 153. My sum of digits also 153, but my aim is I have to check it is Armstrong or not, right? That means I have to check the sum is that number or not. Okay, simply I can take like if sum equals to num sys out, okay, Armstrong, right? And in the else sys out of not Armstrong. If I run this, I am getting the output of what will be my output? It will be a not Armstrong. Why? Think for the 2 minutes. Tell me why it will be not Armstrong. Sum is 153. Fine, right? 153 you are comparing with the num. We already checked the sum value. It will print the 153, right? That means it has to be the condition true. But this condition has failing. Why? Why? Because your num changes to 0. Num value is not 153, right? Num value 0. Then only this condition will be failed. You are come out from the while loop. So your num changes to 0 from 153. So this condition never true. For that what you have to do? Take a temporary variable int m equals to num, store that num in the m, then you can compare sum with the m. Understand? Suppose first if I do like that, if you do like this before, then you are not understand why it will be failed. So you have to learn always from the loopholes. Okay, first you have to find the loophole in your code and you have to rectify it, then only it will be better understand by you, right? Fine, clear? This is the way you can perform the multiple while loop conditions and all the things. Okay, fine. Next we can discuss with the nested loops. I have to discuss the things of for in loop and the for each loop. The for in and the for each loop I can tell at the time of arrays. Okay, why? Because if I want to tell the for in loop and the for each loop, you have to understand the arrays first. So at the time of arrays I can tell, not at all an issue. Okay, we can go with the nested loops. We already discussed the nested ifs, right? Like the way nested loops. Nested loop is nothing but you have to be right, one for loop or one while loop inside another loop, then it will be called as a nested loop. Nested if conditions means if you write one if another if, that means one if inside of the other if, then it will becomes a nested if. Like the same way, if you write one for loop inside of the other for loop, then it will becomes a nested for loop. Or if you write one while loop inside of other while loop, then it will becomes a nested while loop, right? For the nested while loop, I can tell the simple example of a strong number. Okay, in the strong number, all of you understand what is the strong number, right? Right or strong number? In the strong number, what are the requirements you need? First you have to find digit, right? Next, perform factorial for the digit, right? Next, sum the factorial of digit with existing sum. We are calling it as an algorithm. Okay, if you are writing like the English text, what you have to do, it is calling as an algorithm. Algorithm is nothing but a step-by-step execution of your program, how it has to be executed and all. You can write in English format, it will be an algorithm. It is simply one algorithm. I can write what I have to do. For that, first what I have to do, I can read a number, right? I can take a number int n equals to, or else num equals to simply 145. Okay, fine. I can write a while loop. What is the while loop? N not equals to 0, again the same. Why? Because you have to traverse for the numbers and all the thing. Fine. N not num. Fine. And int r. How can you find my digit? R equals to num modulus 10, right? Num modulus 10. Then you can find the r, right? You are getting the r. Then what you have to do? I can declare a sum variable int sum equals to 0. Fine. You are finding the r, right? That means you are finding the first five values there. What you have to do? You have to do factorial, right? For factorial for 5 is stored in r, right? So you have to do factorial program for r. You can do by using the for loop, or you can do using the while loop. Both will be the fine. For that, what you have to do? First take one fact equals to 1. Okay, simple. You already do the factorial program in the previous class, right? For int I equals to 1 or 2, anything will be the fine. I less than or equals to, I think it will take, I can take from the 1. Okay, anything will be the fine. I less than or equals to, I less than or equals to, I less than or, suppose I want to find the 5 factorial, I less than or equals to 5, but here 5 store in r. Again I incrementing, and fact equals to fact into I, right? Then what you have to do? Sum equals to sum plus fact, right? Tell me. Before you have to sum of the digits, you can write r here. In place of Armstrong, you have to write the r cube value. Here now you can write the factorial value. Factorial value store in a fact, right? So you can write the fact here. Again, what the thing you have to do? What the thing you have to do? You are come out from the loop, right? Your num has to become num equals to num by 10. Then again here what I have to do, if sum equals to what is the strong number? If you factorial sum equals to again the same number, then it will be the strong, right? Sum equals to num. If you do like this again, it will print again the false result. So you have to store the num in the other value int m equals to num. Okay, then compare with the m. You can print sys out of a strong number, right? Else not strong. Okay, I'll tell to you. Okay, suppose I'll do one thing. Every time I can print the sum value, then it was better understand to you, right? Sum equals to sum. First 120 plus 24 144 plus 145, 1 factorial value, 4 factorial value, 5 factorial plus 4 factorial 144, 5 factorial plus 4 factorial plus 1 factorial 145. This is the nested for loop. You are writing one for loop inside other for loop. Okay, one while loop inside other for loop you can use. That means it will be any loop. Inside of one loop you can write another loop. It will be nested loop. The same thing suppose I want to print the 1 to 10 tables, not only one single table. I want to print 1 to 10 numbers of tables. That means I have to print the 1 table, I have to print the 10 table, 2 table, 3 table, 4 table, 5 table, 6 table, 7 table, 8 table, 9 table, 10 table. Okay, you already know how to print the tables, right? Class tables. Okay, you already know how to print the tables, right? Suppose I have a number int num, anything, a number, it will be 10 or anything. How to find the 10 table in a for loop? For int I equals to, speak out now, I equals to 1 to I less than or equals to 10 I plus and sys out of n plus x plus equals to I plus equals to plus n into I, right? Here n is not there, num into I. This is for single table. But now my query is I want to print the 1 to 10 tables. Simply write another for loop for int j equals to 1, j less than or equals to 10, j plus, right? it is in a one for loop, right? What is the j value first? 1, right? So first you have to print the one table. So in place of num you have to use j. First j value is 1, right? Then I equals to 1 to 10. J table will print 1 into 1. Again 1 into 2, 1 into 3. Then again j becomes 2. 2 into 1, 2 into 1 value. Like this. J value becomes 3, j value becomes 4, j value becomes 5, j value becomes 6. Every time for the every j value, this inner loop executes 10 times. For the 1 it will execute for the 10 times, for the 2 it will execute for the 10 times. After execution of the 10 times only it will j will be increment. J will be increment, or else it will not increment. I'll run this once. One table, 2 table, 3 table, 4 table, 5 table, 6 table, like that. All the tables it will print, right? You have to analyze how the loop count will be changing. That's why in previous session also I tell you have to figure it out how the loop values will be changed. Okay. Today. Okay. What is the value of j first? 1, right? J value is 1. Then I value is 1. First I value is 1, right? Then it will print 1 into 1, value 1. Okay, it will print 1 into 1 equals to 1. It will print. Again, what is the j value? J value already 1. I will be increment, so I becomes 2. So j equals to 1, I equals to 2. Then 1 into 2 equals to 2. Again j equals to 1, I becomes 3. Then 1 into 3 equals to 3. When your I becomes 10, it will be the final condition, right? So this loop will be stop of execution. After that your j will be increment to 2. Again this inner loop will be executed for 10 times for the j equals to 2 also, and again it will changes to 3. That means for the every j value it will inner loop will be executed for the 10 times. Based on that it will be print. Normally why this nested loops helps to you is when you are dealing with the printing statements, that means a pattern printing. Nested loops helps a lot not to printing of the patterns in any competitive exam. You have to be use the nested loops only. Suppose simple pattern I can do with the star. Suppose I want to print this pattern. Okay, suppose I want to print this pattern. Then how can I do that is, we are calling it as rows and the columns. This will calling it as rows, this will call as columns. Based on the columns and rows we have to be print those things. That is a different thing. Okay. Suppose it was the 5 rows I have, right? outer will be the rows, inner has to be columns. How it will print is simple. First j value is 1, right? J value is 1. Inner loop, how many times it will be execute? Inner loop, how many times it will be execute? Only one time. So one time will be print. Next j value becomes 2. Inner loop, how many times it will be execute? 2 times. So 2 times it will be print. Inner loop, how many times it will be executed when j becomes 3? 3 times till to the j. That means based on the j, my inner loop condition will be changes every time. Suppose I want to print in a reverse way. That means above 5, 4, 3, 2 and the 1. 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Right? In that scenario, j equals to 5, j greater than or equals to 1, j minus minus 5 because 5 times, so 5, 4, 3, maybe it will works, or else we can change with the inner loop also. Okay, like the way different patterns we have, you have to print diamond pattern, you have to print a one square box of pattern, like the things we have a lot. What pattern is there, suppose you have a print hollow square. If you want to print like this of pattern, this also you can do with the nested loops. Nested loops, the major task is for when you are need some scenarios like that. But when you are go with the programming concept or the competitive exam concept, nested loops will help a lot for the pattern printing. This pattern is simple. Okay, you have to print a star when I is 0. Normally we are taking it as a columns and rows. Okay, suppose it is a 0th row or the first row. That means you have to print star when row is 0, or else column is 0, or else row is last, or else column is last. Then it will be your pattern print. Okay, you have to print when suppose it is a thing, then you have to be print. Normally we are talking rows as a inner loop, columns as a outer loop, or rows as the outer loop, columns as inner loop. Suppose you have to print I equals to 0, and also you have to print j equals to 0, or else you have to print I equals to 5, or else you have to print j equals to 5. These conditions you have to be right, then it will be print. Remaining time you have to print the space. That was fine. Okay, that was the different scenario. Okay, this is fine. You have to understand the basic about the for loop. Why? Because nested for loops. Why? Because in the AM we are not use nested for loops a lot, but you have to understand how the loops can be traversed and all that. Fine. And remaining in the loops concept, we have to discuss 3 things, 3 statements. Already we discussed that: break, continue. Return is one statement is there. Return is we can discuss in the time of methods. Break and continue is enough. Break. Suppose you want to terminate a loop before the completion of the loop, then break is the option. You have to skip a iteration, then continue is the option. Break to terminate entire loop, continue to skip current iteration. To skip a iteration, current iteration, not skip a iteration. Current iteration in the scenario when you are dealing with the program. To skip a iteration. This is the two statements we have to be discussed. Those are nothing but simply imagine a scenario. I am trying to print 1 to 10 numbers, but I want to come out when if I found a multiple of 4. Okay. In a scenario, I want to print 1 to 10 numbers, but I come out from the loop if I found a multiple of 4. Okay, two scenarios. I want to come out from the loop when I found the multiple of 4, and in 1 to 10 numbers I want to print all the numbers except multiples of 3. Except multiples of 3. Two scenarios. Print 1 to n numbers and come out from the loop when find multiple of 4, right? In another scenario, print 1 to n numbers except multiples of 3. Okay, here you are terminating the loop, come out from the loop, that means you have to be terminating. Here except multiples of 3, I'll tell you. Okay. Suppose I can take a number int. Okay, I can just simply for int I equals to 1 to I less than or equals to 15 I plus plus. Oh, main method is not there. Okay, 15 sys out of I. Okay, in a scenario if I found multiple of 4 means how can I find multiple of 4? I modulus 4 equals to 0, then it means multiple of 2, then simply break. That is the scenario, right? When I found the multiple of 4, you have to be come out. Then what will be my output if I execute this? From 1 to 15, 1 will be print. Why? Because 1 is not multiple of 4. 1 will be print, 2 will be print, 3 will be print. When 4 is there, it will come out from the loop. So my output is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. In other scenario, I want to print all the things except multiples of 3, right? That means what it actually do is, when you find the multiple of 3, it will skip that current iteration. If you find here, it will not print 3, it will not print 6, it will not print 9, it will not print 12. Why? Because When this will found, it will not execute the below statements. It will simply continues that iteration without executing it, continues that iteration. Okay. If you are using the break, you are come out from the loop, but if you are using the continue, you are skip that iteration. That means you are come out from that iteration only. Suppose if I place the statement above the if, then it will print the 3, 6, 9 also. Why? Because below the statements only not executed. Above the statement will be executed. Why? Because it is acts like a interpreter language. Okay, your Java is a compiler and interpreter language, right? So because of that, it will print 12 also print, right? 15 also print. Why it will print? Because first it will print the 3, after it will checks below statements anything is there, it will not execute the thing, right? That's the scenario with the break and the continue statement. Okay, fine. Yeah, we are end up this session. It's fine. Thank you.